Am I the asshole for not wanting my step-niece in my wedding even though my nephews are? Background, my bio-nephews are 8-10 years old. When they were 4, their parents went through a very messy divorce, and as a result, I took them in for 3 years. I'm not going to go into detail, but my brother became a drunk, and the mom didn't want anything to do with them. So that's why I took them in. I met my husband through the school they go to, because his daughter is in the same class. During the 3rd year, my brother got married to his wife, who has a daughter with terrible manners. She is 9, so she is old enough, but she is kid who will throw a tantrum at events when it's not about her. E.g., she blew the candles on my nephew's birthday, and when he cried he got reprimanded. I took them out the next day so he could blow his candles. Keep in mind, my brother still isn't making an effort with his own kids. Towards the end of the year, he demanded to have his kids back, and because of how the court arranged it, he was able to keep custody. I, however, still attended everything, because the boys want me to. I never bonded with his wife or daughter because SIL is rude and is very passive-aggressive. I have made efforts by invited them to my house to bond, but she ripped up my husband's daughter, favorite doll, and then SIL got mad at me for reprimanding her. My wedding. My daughter is going to be the only one in wedding party as a flower girl, and my nephews are the ring bearers. We have a no kids rule, so that means no step-niece, as I know that she will throw a tantrum at my ceremony. The main issue is that she wants to be part of my wedding as a flower girl. My answer is no, because I want my daughter to feel special. And, TBH, she isn't important enough to me to want her in my wedding. Her mother is demanding that her daughter be a flower girl, or my nephews won't be taking part. That I'm hurting a child feeling by excluding her. It's not that I want to exclude her, it's just that I know she is going to throw a temper tantrum the moment she knows she's not the center of attention, because no matter what she does that, I told my brother that if this happens, I will cut off all financial support I have given them, which he said was not fair. Keep in mind, I would be paying for a babysitter at the hotel, and I have chosen a venue that's close to a theme park. So while the ceremony goes on, she will be there, and then my daughter and nephews will join them for the rest of the time, and then go back to the hotel to go to bed and everything while the reception goes through. Because this is a destination wedding, I will be paying for my parents' and brother's room and a babysitter, which I think is generous and way more fun than being in a wedding, which can be stressful. My brother is telling me to sort it out with Sil, and my parents understand me but told me to let it go. My daughter wants to be the only flower girl but wants my nephews, and they cried when they thought they couldn't be a part of the wedding. BTW, the financial support I give is paying for school bills, such as extracurriculars, tutoring, and the cloths and shoes and school supplies to my nephews. My brother has always wanted to be a girl's dad, so I think he just pays for general stuff, but leave my nephews to fend for themselves. Also, I do have a trust fund for them to open at 18, so don't worry about that. Am I the asshole? Story 2. AITA for telling my daughter that either everybody comes to her birthday party or no one comes at all. My daughter is 11 going on 12, and her birthday is coming up in a few weeks. For her birthday, she wants to go swimming, so we rented the local community center that has a pool and a giant activity room where we'll have lots of treats and stuff. We asked her to make us a list of invitees so we can get everything coordinated. She asked if she could just invite her whole class of 20 or so kids. It's a big activity center with lots of room, so we said that was fine. So she goes to the kitchen and about 10 minutes later comes back with her classmate directory. Her school puts together a small binder that lists the names of the students by each class, the names of the parents, and a phone number and/or email address. She hands it to me, and I quickly noticed that 3 names have been crossed out. I asked why, and she said those are the ones she doesn't want to invite. I started asking her other questions, like if they had an argument, or if they were mean bullies, etc. And she maintained that no, she just thought they were strange and didn't really like them. I told her that she can't just invite the whole class with just 3 exclusions. She just kind of looked at me and said, it's her birthday. I explained that this could be hurtful to them, and that if she was so staunchly against them attending, then it would be better to have a smaller party and invite just a handful of her closest friends. She said she doesn't want a small party, she wanted a big party, and I told her then everyone in the class is getting an invitation. She said no, they aren't, and I told her okay, then no one is, and she ran out of the room crying. She has started crying and running away whenever she has seen me since, and I'm starting to feel guilty. My wife was frustrated with me and says that she gets where I'm coming from,
but it is daughter's birthday, and she should only have the people she wants there. I tried to explain that I don't want our daughter to be a reason these 3 kids have a crappy time in school. I can't in good conscience let her exclude other kids like this. Am I the asshole here? Wife says, all we need to worry about is daughter having a fun birthday, and I'm already ruining for picking a fight over something no one will remember years down the road. But I don't agree at all. If they were bullies, that would be one thing. But they aren't. So to me, it's cruelty, and cruelty sticks with people. Relevant comments. Can you talk to your daughter's teacher and see if there have been any concerning interactions? That's a great suggestion. I will definitely ask about the interactions. I know that sometimes kids don't tell the whole story to their parents for many reasons. Thanks for the feedback. Maybe turn it around and see how she would feel if she were excluded. Great suggestion. Might be more effective than just explaining that it could hurt their feelings. I should have worded like this instead. We'll have this conversation soon. Update. Thanks for reading. Glad the final verdict is that I am not the asshole here. Not appreciating all the comments, PMs, and chat requests, making wild assumptions, projecting, threatening me, and attacking me. But I do appreciate all the people who appropriately and civilly shared all kinds of thoughts. We talked again this morning and I asked her more specifically about her feelings towards the 3. And it's really nothing even potentially problematic, like people were suggesting, but I thought it was important to make sure just in case. I asked her to put herself in their shoes. What if one of her classmates was having a party and invited everybody except her? How would she feel? This is the approach I admit I should have tried in the first place, and it worked. She gets it. I explained that's why she can't invite the whole class except for just 3 people, because at that point, it's a class affair. I reiterated that she could still have a small party with just her close friends, but she said she wanted to still have a big party, and everybody is invited.
Story 3.
Cheating scandal explosion. Husband's affair exposed. My revenge romance with AP spouse takes a shocking turn. I've fallen in love with the husband of the women. My husband is cheating on me. I'm so sorry. There are a lot of errors in the title and the text. While I think my English is pretty awesome, it's not perfect. So sorry for any confusion. This is going to be a long post. Will do my best to make it short. I found this sub on a podcast. Maybe I can find comfort about what have been weighing me down for almost a year now. I'm F36 and my husband is M38. We have been together for 10 years. We have one daughter who's F6. She's everything to me. I found out a year ago that my husband is sleeping with his employee F30. How? Her husband, let's call him John, M35, contacted me. He was heartbroken, and he thought that I ought to know. He provided me with text messages and dated when they've been in hotels. I recognized my husband's style, and I recognized the other woman. I have seen her on multiple occasions when I visited my husband at work. She'd been nothing but kind and pleasant towards me. And she always doted on my daughter. I asked John what he wanted to do and he said that he wasn't sure yet, so I requested that we should meet. He agreed. I told him about my life, and that I'm currently not working after the pandemic. I lost my job, and now the economy. I haven't really had any opportunity to find job. Instead, I've been studying these past 2 years. If I divorce now, I won't be able to provide for my daughter. That would probably put her in my husband's custody as a primary provider. I asked him if he could wait for a few months. Hopefully longer therefore, and to my surprise he agreed. I thanked him profusely, but he told me that he didn't know what to do either. So he's happy to wait. Also, the other woman has 3 children from a previous relationship, and he was worried that she would refuse him being in their lives. Once he confronted her, because he's not the father, we kept in touch however. He called me a few times a week, and soon we started to talk about other things. Other than our failed marriages. Afterwards we started going for walks, coffee, movies, etc. I found myself thinking about him often with a smile on my face. He was the first thing I thought of in the morning, and the last thing I thought of before going to bed. For the last 3 to 4 months, we probably mentioned our spouses 1 or twice. We talk about everything else, and he always makes me laugh. He thinks I'm funny too. 2 weeks ago, we were having a picnic, and he just blurted out, "I think that I'm in love with you." When he then explained himself, it just drove the point home that I also am in love with him. He said that at first he wasn't sure why he was feeling like this towards me, and explained it away as to jilted people finding comfort in each other, but that he then realized that he wasn't broken anymore. that he even thinks of his wife's infidelity as a blessing, because it led him to me. That was exactly how I felt too. I didn't know what to say. I told him that I'm terrified that these are false feelings that would go away once we freed ourselves from those who hurt us. He just beamed at me and said he was willing to take the risk. Just to find out, he kissed my hand because I thought we were still married, and if we did something then, how are we better than our so? I don't know what to do now. I find myself daydreaming about him. About introducing him to my daughter. Kiss him. Wake up next to him every morning. I still have 1 semester left. And then I'm probably going to find a job. I've already had some offers for when I'm finished with my studies. I have thanked John so many times for being so patient with me about everything. I appreciate that he's waiting for me to put my life in order. Before we expose our spouses, who aren't really seeing each other as often as they used to do. He told me he's happy to help, and he just wants a real kiss as a thank you when everything is over. My goal now is to secure my job and leave this marriage. Am I pathetic for wanting to give John and I a shot and see where it would go? Can't broken hearts really find happiness together when their love story started like ours?